Good evening. This is Programa Latino, and today I will be talking with Leovi Jackson, a candidate for Consul at Large in the city of Brockton. Welcome to Programa Latino.
Thank you for having me. I'm very happy to be here today.
Very good. We had a couple of questions for you, and maybe you can give us some answer to those questions. The first one has to do, why are you running for Consul at Large in the city of Brockton?
Well, I'm running for council at large because I have a vision for the city of Brockton that brings people together, where we work for common interests and causes, putting aside our differences to make this a champion city. I take exception to the fact of the statement on the water tower that says that Brockton is a city of champions. I personally don't know that many champions, but I do know lots of hardworking people here in the city. And I think that if we work to make this a champion city, everyone benefits, and that's what I want to see.
Very good. Now, can you tell us anything about your education, your work experience?
Well, educationally, I have a Bachelor's of Science from Lesley College in Cambridge and a master's degree in the School of Hard Knocks. Professionally, I am a realtor here in the city of Brockton. I've worked this area as a full-time realtor for the last 14 years, and now I'm associated with Briarwood Real Estate.
When did you move to Brockton? How many years do you live here in the city?
My wife and I, we bought a home here in 1985. We found this the most affordable place to live and to purchase. And then we moved away for 2 years and came back. So now I can truly say Brockton is my home.
Very good. Now, you are running for Consul at Large, and what do you see as the problems facing the city?
Well, there are many problems facing this city and any city, and one is that money is finite, and that's not always the solution to some of our problems. I think we have a problem with working on common issues to make this a much better city. And by coming together throughout the city, it doesn't matter what your background, what brings you to the city of Brockton, the most important thing is making a commitment to the city and being a good citizen. And working together, putting aside our differences, and working with the idea and intent that we can make this more than a city of champions, that we can make Brockton a champion city. And let me just kind of amplify on that. By a champion city, there are many benefits that we the people, would receive. We talk about living wage jobs. In a champion city, as I envision it, it's a city where you have a high quality of life. People are working together to improve the city as best they can, and we can attract businesses that will come to the city simply because of the quality of life and not because of the tax exemptions that we would be offering them as well, but they're looking for a good place in which to locate their key executives. So that would be one of the benefits of being a champion city. Of course, the other benefits would be the things that pass down to our kids, that we instill in our children: a good education, good moral value, and the ability to look around them and to know that they're cared for by the community at large. So being a champion city, it just focuses a lot of attention on us. We could probably increase tourist activity in the city, thereby bringing more monies in. We've taken certain steps, the horse racing, the proposed minor league baseball team. And if we can incorporate that into a spirit where everyone is promoting the city, I think we'll be doing excellent.
Now, I understand that you were a member of many organizations that had to do with the improvement of Brockton. Can you talk to us about that?
Well, I belong to a lot of organizations that have done various things, have different goals, volunteered to work for the Jimmy Fund at one time. But the two organizations that I'm most proud of being a part of would be the Brockton Library Foundation and the Brockton Interfaith Community, better known as BIC. And each one of those organizations accomplished something that I think is very important to the city. Beginning with the Library Foundation, many of you will recall that early in the 90s, the Brockton Library was facing dire situations. It was about to lose its accreditation. And we had a meeting at the library at the time. I'm sure you were there. It was an overflow crowd, which led to the formation of the Brockton Library Foundation, which eventually led to the new building that will be taking place, the expansion of the main library. And I was very glad to be a part of that because the library is for all people and it's a very valuable resource to the community. The Brockton Interfaith, on the other hand, is a multi-issue organization that has worked on many areas of concern in the city, from housing, affordable jobs, education, voter registration, and because of their ability to address different issues, I think that that's probably the most rewarding organization that I've been in. We've gotten monies to renovate distressed properties in what was then called the Edgar Playground area. The Brockton Community Corporation was a part of that. We brought forth a very successful after-school program. Now there are over 5,000 kids benefiting from that program. We instituted a soft second mortgage program in the city that makes home ownership more affordable for low-income people. So those are things I'm very proud of.
Do you have any other organizations where you were a member too?
Well, I at one time I was a member of the Mayor's Housing Task Force. Also the Regional Employment Board before the changes took place. I'm a member of Crime Watch. I go to St. Margaret's Church, and I'm a member there. I used to be work with the youth there, but now I've kind of moved on. That's more people come in to take over from me.
Now, going back to the primaries, when's going to be the primary?
The primary will be in September the 27th, and that's a very important date, and I'm hopeful that all the city of Brockton, every registered voter comes out and vote and take part in the process. It's very key that we open the doors of City Hall. By opening the doors of City Hall, I mean that we get representation in there that reflect the people of the color in this community and would be responsible to the people of color and accountable to the people of color, and of course accountable to the entire city, because that is, of course, your job. My belief is that I want to create a champion city, and I want everyone to benefit who is a law-abiding citizen, who's concerned about themselves, their family, their neighborhood. Then I want all these people to benefit. And to do so, I think they need to know what's going on in City Hall. They need to have someone that they would feel comfortable with bringing their problems, asking their questions, and someone that provides information and education to the community. And we don't have that from our current counselors at large.
Now, I myself, I went many times to many meetings that has to do with commissions, board of trustees, board of directors. Again, all these are part of the city of Brockton. And I did not see too many minorities. I did not see women. I did not see handicapped people represented there. What's your opinion about that?
Well, I believe that Brockton is a very diverse city, and that every segment of the city of Brockton should have an opportunity to have his voice heard, to be represented, and to participate in the future of our city, as well as the present. And in doing so, I would encourage minorities, women, to take a part in the process. And my first words of encouragement is to go out and vote for me, of course. However, there's much more to it than that. I like to issue a challenge, and that challenge would be that we have to assume some responsibility. The responsibility for voting is not that much of a burden. But once you vote someone in, you have to be responsible to make them accountable to you and your needs. And if I'm elected, I'm hoping that those people who voted for me will always seek me out to say, well, what's going on? What's your position on this? Or I'm having a problem here and I need your help. And I think that's one of the things that we missed in the city, is that many people feel locked out of the process. But the door is there and we can open it.
Mm. Now, coming back to downtown Brockton, what kind of things you would like to see in downtown?
Well, I like to see lots of things happening in the downtown area. But first, let me reflect on some of the things that have occurred and what we were told about it, at least in the public media. Beginning with the courthouse. The courthouse was supposed to rejuvenate downtown, or to serve as the cornerstone for the revitalization of downtown. But you have to get over the design flaw. They built a courthouse that has 250 employees and parking spaces for 250 cars. So right away, that's a problem. And then that problem expands across Clinton Street by taking down another building that could provide affordable housing to create more ground level parking, which I'm not in favor of. I'm in favor of building up. I'm in favor of seeing Brockton as a mid-rise city, providing housing opportunities in the downtown area for mixed income, affordable housing, 3 and 4 bedroom units with boutiques, points of interest, restaurants, shops that would be sustained by the people that would be living in the downtown area. My concern is, it was stated by the mayor a couple of years ago that he pictured Brockton as being a bedroom community of Boston. I don't see Brockton as that. I see Brockton as a community that services the adjacent towns. We are the blue-collar, working class town, and that's how we should develop. But downtown has to be revitalized. The things that are currently afoot, the library expansion would be a big plus. The 2 new apartment buildings that's been brought online in the next year or so, I understand, provides only 1 and 2 bedrooms. Also, it was stated that the income for those apartment buildings would be from $25,000 to $30,000. I know many hardworking families in the city of Brockton working 2 and 3 jobs and just barely make that kind of money, and they have kids. So I'm looking for a Brockton that's going to have a core area that has room for everyone.
Now, many things in the city are done by, I would say, specific employees of the city without the input of the whole population. How do you feel about that? Do you think that maybe City Hall must be more open to citizens of residents of the city?
Absolutely, City Hall should be, and in truth, that's what City Hall is about. City Hall is about representing the interests of the people it serves. But unfortunately, a mentality has developed that says if you don't vote, you don't matter. And I'm here to ask you to vote and to make a difference. Then we can have input. I want to be a counselor that's going to take information from City Hall and bring it back to the community. You don't have to go seeking it out. You don't have to go trying to find it. I'm going to make it readily available to everyone. And hopefully, by doing so, those people who have interests in creating businesses will now have better information in which to make a business plan and to have a greater chance of succeeding. And those people who are concerned about other issues, education, housing, would now have a better sense of what direction the city is going in. And if you're not in agreement, then you can speak up. And I would be there to echo, to support your concerns.
Now, going back to the elections, you talk about the primary. How about the election in November? Do you know what day or the?
I'm not quite sure the exact date. Is routinely or normally the first Tuesday in November, and so I'm not sure at this point the exact date of it, but that is a ways away. The first step, at least in the city council at large election, is the primary. Right now we have 9 or possibly 10 people that will be running for 8 ballot positions. And once those ballot positions are filled, and we move to the November general election. Again, filling those 8 positions is very key, and the primary is very important because as a minority community, we can send a very loud and very clear message to the city of Brockton that we are coming out, we're voting, we're going to vote for people who represent our interests and our concerns, and we're going to make a difference.
You know, according to the census, the population, the minority population in Boston is increasing tremendously. So that means also, you know, that we had to have representatives in the different boards, trustees, commissions, but also we had to be implementing programs. We had to be part of the workforce in the city, right? And right now, unfortunately, we don't have, as you say, City Hall is not accountable to us. And also the organization, the different departments within the city of Brockton are not accountable to us. I assume that, you know, by voting in mass, in a great number, you see, thereafter, those departments, City Hall is going to respond to us because we are paying taxes. We are the ones that are supporting the city. So therefore, City Hall has to be accountable to minorities and to women, to handicapped that are not representing at this time.
Right. There are many boards and commissions in the city that do not reflect the demographics of the city. And by creating a mass of people, minority people who are informed and educated and participating in the process, it creates pressures where those boards will be adjusted over time to reflect the demographics. And again, it goes back to getting that information to the community. And some of that information can stem from those various boards that work on different issues, and have the meetings where people can come to and state their concerns and then take it back to the mayor or whoever it needs to be taken back to, perhaps the city council, to be acted on. But by changing the makeup and composition of those boards to reflect the concerns of the entire city, then we're creating an opportunity where all the voices can be heard and all the concerns can be looked at. And just by having our voice heard as a minority community or people of color does not necessarily mean that we're going to get the results that we're looking for. But by having our voices heard, it gives us a greater opportunity to get results that we're looking for. And it also gives the other side a chance. You know, politics is the art of compromise. But sometimes when you compromise and you get nothing from it, it's no compromise. So I want to create a win-win situation. You know, I realize that I cannot go into City Hall and just change it overnight the way I want it to be or the way I think it should be. And the only way I'm going to be able to make any real effective change is to be able to have the people behind me. Because change is a very slow and painful thing. And if you want to do it at a radical pace, if you feel that change should have occurred yesterday, then it's going to be very difficult. But there are changes that we can make, and there are changes that I'll be able to make to speed up that process a little bit. But I can only do it when it is clearly demonstrated that I have the people's support. And with the people's support, I have power. If it doesn't look like from the results of this election that the people came out in force and said, Leo B. Jackson is a guy that's speaking for us, and we're going to vote for him in large numbers, then my power, my ability to create change is diminished. Mm. So again, my appeal is that as minority people, no matter what country you come from, that we come out in force and vote. And if you can't vote, if you're not a citizen, you still can get involved and have your voice heard because you're working here, you made a commitment to the city, and the city should be responsible to you.
You know what, if there is anybody that wants to help you or has some questions, do you have any telephone number where you can be contacted?
My home number is area code 508-583-9847, and I take calls up until 1 o'clock at night. So it's never too late to call. It might be too early, but it's never too late to call. My email address is leejack, that's LEJACK 11 @hotmail.com.
Very good. So that means also that you are open to the whole population. You don't want to be a consul just for one group, but you want to be a representative for a consul for the whole city.
Well, again, to make this a champion city, we have to work together as a collective. We have to work together as a group. But I realize that there are some groups, some individuals even in this city that need more help to get up to the table, to get on that level playing field where they can then take advantage of opportunities. So because I realize that, it's a fact. I'm not just speaking off the cuff. This is a fact. And I will help work to bring those people up to the table. It may simply be creating more English programs to give a person the ability to move into the workforce and to earn a decent living without having language be a barrier. There could be other things that could be done to elevate people up so that they'll sit at the table with the power brokers and have their voices heard. Once that's done, then everybody has equal opportunity. There's equal opportunity, free flow of information, there's justice. What more can we ask for?
They said, there is somebody said, that any city can be the best only when all the groups had equal opportunity and advance together.
That will make us a champion city. And that's a revolutionary idea if you think about it, because it challenges everyone. It challenges not only the minority segment of the city, but it challenges the other side to come together and find those areas where we can make this city work. We can make this a model city. And we can have other communities coming here and asking us, well, how do we do it? what was our secret? And the secret is very simple. We have to work together. We have to work to bring, as Jesse Jackson would say, the lowest, the least of us up to the level of everyone else. And that is what I want to do. And again, it cannot be done. I cannot stress the importance of this. It cannot be done unless we act collectively and do something that's revolutionary, and that is take the ballot because it's been given to us and use it. Use it to propel our interests and our concerns forward, and then to blend our interests and concerns into some common interests and concerns so that we can all work together as a collective and make it happen.
Somebody else said, you know, that a vote is power. Okay, and you have the power to put somebody over there to do things for the whole community. But also you have the power to take that person out because not doing what's supposed to be doing.
Mm-hmm.
And if you see that the person doesn't have any more ideas, that's the same thing. Hey, we have to take him or her out and put some new blood there. People with new ideas, people that is willing to work with everybody.
Well, that kind of brings an issue up that was addressed when I ran 2 years ago. The experience question. We have counselors at large who've given 30 or 40 years of their lives politically to make this a better city. And they're all very honorable people. But there comes a time when you have to step aside and let other people benefit from your years of experience by giving them counsel and advice. But experience can be like digging a trench sometimes. You dig it and you get into it and you don't see what's off to the right or to the left. And you're so focused that you miss a lot of things. Is that good or bad? Times have changed all around us. Things are changing. And if you are dealing with concerns and issues of today's youth, let's say, with an attitude that goes back 30 years, that may not be a good thing. The other issue or concern might be when you have counselors, again, as I said, they're all honorable men, and I'm sure they're doing what they think is best in every instance. But you have a counselor that has 3 civil service jobs. I would suspect that there comes a time when there's going to be a conflict of interest. When you're a city councilor and a county commissioner, and there's concern about the library in this case, and it was an issue that was brought up by one of the other counselors, how much we should pay the county when the city has done lots of things for the county. This particular counselor thought that the fee that we were being charged to use the courthouse as a temporary library was too great. Well, we had a county commissioner there. I wondered what he had to say. Was there a conflict of interest? Did he support the city's interest, which is always to reduce the costs, or did he support the county? And then, of course, he has a 3rd civil service job, which may come in conflict with those. I only raise those 2 issues because I think we have to look at that and say, you know, is the city of Brockton, the city of Brockton that we have today and we expect to have in the future, being served well with experience that may not measure up to the challenges that we have, or conflicts of interest where you cannot forcefully state your opinion because you have other loyalties.
Right. Now, the other key question is that I know that you were a member of many board of directors for many years, and you did that for free. You spent hundreds and thousands of hours trying to help people, right?
Well, yes. The reward, though, as you're well aware, is when you can see things that's been accomplished, which is why I say BIC was one of my most cherished organizations, because I can look back on the time that I was president or actively involved in BIC and point to things that they did that benefited the community as a whole.
Yep.
I can look at the library and I can see the advancements that we made. To begin with, just using the library as an example, when the Library Foundation got started, there were only like 5, I think, subscriptions to magazines in the library. We were able to get more subscriptions. We were able to get the microfiche. We were able to put on programs. And over the course of time, we were able to get money approved for the new building. So those are things that I can visibly see, and by volunteering to do that kind of work, that's the reward. Oftentimes the reward is not in what you receive monetarily.
Right. Oh, well, I would like to thank you for coming to Programa Latino, and also I would like to thank you for all those good things that you are doing for the City of Champions, because without your help, probably we will still trying to do something. But as in the case of the library, as in the case of ESL classes, I know that they increased the number of English as a second language classes. They are going on, at least for 1 year already. So that's good. And we feel proud of all those things that were done, thanks to the many hours that many people like you put in order to make possible all those things. So I wish you, luck in the elections, and for sure we would like to talk to you some other time.
Thank you very much for having me here.
Thank you. Programa Latino will continue with Latin American music after this message.
What would you do if you had to choose between the buffalo and the giraffes? Between a flower or an elephant? What would you choose? What if you had to decide between a 100-year-old tree and a 1,000,000-year-old beach? Between drinking clean water or breathing clean air? Would you make the right choice? Would there be a right choice? Now there's a way to help, not just one, but all these things. EarthShare, the world's leading environmental groups working together. It's one choice we can all live with. Ask your employer about workplace giving.
Son tantas las cosas en la vida que no se pueden controlar. Por suerte, la diabetes no está entre ellas. Menos crimen no es una casualidad. Hay programas de orientación, entrenamiento de trabajo, mentores y actividades después de la escuela que mantienen a nuestros jóvenes alejados del crimen y al crimen alejado de ellos. Mira a tu alrededor. Verás que los jóvenes en estos programas no están buscando problemas. Necesitamos de ti y de programas que funcionan. Llama al 1-800-727-únete y te enviaremos un folleto gratis. Únete a la lucha contra el crimen.
Bueno, aquí estoy con el señor Rafael, que era el acting president del Club Social Cultural Puertorriqueño, que es el grupo encargado de levantar la bandera y de darle una proclama a una persona que se ha destacado en la ciudad. Rafael, ¿cómo te sientes de levantar nuestra bandera puertorriqueña en la alcaldía hoy? Y es por ser el año número 11.
Bueno, yo me siento orgulloso por la simple razón que ahora estoy directo con la Junta Directiva del Club Social Cultural Puertorriqueño y a la persona se ha destacado bastante bien con la comunidad y se ha esforzado bastante en la comunidad esta persona.
¿Quién es la persona que se ha escogido para darle la proclama de la ciudad y por qué?
Okay, la persona se llama María Osorio y a ella se ha escogido porque ella ha ayudado bastante a la comunidad, especialmente a los jóvenes, y se ha esforzado bastante en ayudar a los jóvenes y inclusive trabaja con la iglesia St. Patrick Church y hace actividades para los jóvenes.
¿Cuál es el significado de tener la bandera puertorriqueña en la alcaldía para nosotros los puertorriqueños?
El significado de mantener la bandera en la alcaldía de Brockton es para darle a reconocer que somos una gran población en Brockton y yo me siento bastante orgulloso y quisiera seguir haciéndolo y estar presente para todos los años que lleguen adelante.
Ok, y respecto a la parada, pues aquí, que la mayoría de los personas que participan, ya que es una parada hispana, pero la mayoría son puertorriqueños, ¿qué tú quieres decir al respecto?
Bueno, la parada cada año crece mucho más y mayoría son todos puertorriqueños y yo espero que continúe esta parada puertorriqueña en la ciudad de Brockton, la ciudad de los campeones.
Bueno, Rafael, muchas gracias y estaremos por ahí grabando el lanzamiento de la bandera puertorriqueña.
Okay,
Nos vemos por ahí. Okay.
¿Cómo están?
Bien, ¿y usted?
Mi nombre es Brian Joyce, Mikey Joyce, Maggie Joyce, Jimmy Joyce, Andrew Joyce, Mary Joyce. Jake Joyce is playing baseball this morning, so we have 5 children. So I'm Brian Joyce, and I'm a state senator and a candidate for Congress here in Brockton.
Bueno, aquí tuvieron a la familia Joyce. El señor Joyce se está corriendo, postulando para el Congressional 9th District, la silla 9 del Congreso. Él está aquí en el distrito de muchos latinos y él está aquí para buscar el apoyo de la comunidad latina. La primera pregunta que le va a hacer en español, luego se la va a hacer en inglés, es ¿qué piensa él hacer para los latinos? I just told them what I just said in Spanish, and same thing, I'm going to say it to you in English. What are you planning to do for the Latino community if you get elected? How can you help them out?
Well, I have the good fortune of being the only candidate in this race who has represented not only the suburban parts of this district, but also the urban parts of this district. And I have a significant Latino population in my current state Senate district. And what I find is that the Latino population wants the same as the rest of us: economic opportunity, affordable housing, good jobs, and just really fairness and an opportunity to succeed in the American dream, just as all of us want it, just as I want for my family. And I've worked very, very hard, primarily to improve our schools, our public education. It is truly the key to the success of not just this, but future generations. I have been the champion of public education, rebuilding schools throughout the state. Some of the legislation that I have supported, in fact, has resulted in the new school buildings here in Brockton. We have increased state aid for the schools throughout the state, including here in Brockton. And I also have been working not only for the future generation, but for the prior generation. I have been the leader in the fight for affordable home health care for our senior citizens, where we find that many seniors are forced into nursing homes where in reality they would rather have the choice to receive that same level of skilled care in their home, to receive affordable home health care workers into their homes. The federal government has cut the funding on that. I have increased the funding on the state level and will champion that on the federal level.
La pregunta que le va a hacer ahora al señor que está corriendo para congresista es la siguiente: ¿por qué entre todos los latinos que estamos aquí en Brockton, en el distrito 9, los puertorriqueños que nacimos con la ciudadanía americana, que son los más que pueden votar, aparte de otros hispanos que ahora son residentes legales, pero que no tienen la ciudadanía? Esa es la pregunta que le va a preguntar ahora. What I used to say in Spanish is, from all the Latinos in the District 9 that we have, a lot of them are Puerto Rican. They are born as citizens of the United States since we have a Commonwealth of the United States. What do you think about Puerto Rico becoming a state, and what do you think about Puerto Ricans who can vote because they have the right to vote? Besides, all the Latinos also have the right to vote, but these people are born with citizenship.
Certainly all citizens deserve the right to vote, all citizens. And certainly the folks that are from the Commonwealth of Puerto Rico have the opportunity independently to determine whether they would like statehood. They've had referenda in the past, and certainly I would abide by that popular referenda. With respect to representation in the United States Congress, certainly as a critical part of our nation, they're entitled to equal and fair and proportionate representation in the United States Congress.
One thing that's very important right now within Puerto Rican is the Vieques situation. Uno de los casos que estamos más importantes ahora, que estamos buscando ayuda de los congresistas y senadores del Congreso y el Senado de Estados Unidos, es el caso de Vieques en Puerto Rico, cerca de la Marina. Es lo que le va a estar preguntando ahora. What do you think about the Vieques situation in Puerto Rico? Right now, we're trying to get as many people in the Congress and the Senate to help us out with the Marines. Right now, I've been to Vieques. I've been there. A lot of people are suffering from this thing. They've been there for a while. I know we need the support of the United States Marine, but what can you do for us, and how can you help a situation to mediate the situation with Vieques? Because definitely Puerto Rican wants the Marine out of Vieques. They want peace in the island. What can you do for Puerto Ricans if you get elected?
Well, one of the things we can do, first of all, certainly I support the Puerto Rican people that want to have this bombing, these drills stopped. I mean, look at, my children, look at these children. I mean, none of us would want our families to suffer, and clearly the Puerto Ricans that are adjacent to this bombing facility for the Marines have spoken loud and clear. They want the Marines out. One of the things we can do in Congress is through the power of the purse. We control in Congress the purse strings, the money. And that is the most effective means to change the public policy, as well as to pass laws that would prohibit the continued actions there. And I would support the Puerto Ricans and oppose the military policy which currently exists.
And finally, when is the day that you need these people to go out there and vote for you, especially the Latino? We have to give this guy a pass to go over there. We have to help him out since he's helping us with all these issues that are very important to us. When will be the day where we need you to get elected?
Well, gracias. On September 11th, my name is Brian Joyce. I'll give you a little visual cue here. I'm Brian Joyce, and I very much want to work for you. If you give me the opportunity, I will give you my heart in my industry and representing all the people of the 9th Congressional District, including those of you watching Channel 9 here in Brockton. Thank you. It's Brian Joyce, September 11th for Congress.
Thank you. Have a nice day. Thank you. Buenas, señoras y señoras, aquí estoy con el senador estatal del estado de Massachusetts y con candidato congresista por el Distrito 9, el señor Mark Pacheco. How you doing today?
Nice to see you.
Okay. La primera pregunta que tengo para el señor Pacheco es acerca de si él es escogido para el Distrito 9 por la comunidad aquí de Massachusetts, ¿qué él haría para ayudar a nosotros los puertorriqueños en la situación de la Marina de Vieques de Puerto Rico? Mark, I just told in Spanish that if you get elected, how can you help the Puerto Ricans out with the Marine Vieques situation, since that's something very important that the people of Vieques have spoken out. They have said that we just don't want any more bombings. We know that that's important to the United States military defense system, but they just don't want the Marines there. They said they have spoken out, no more bombing. What can you do in the Congress to help with the Puerto Ricans out?
Well, I think we want to try to bring peace to Vieques. Vieques, although I have not personally visited, I have been told that it is a beautiful, beautiful place in the world, peaceful place in the world that should remain a peaceful place. And I will try to do everything I can to bring about peace in Vieques for the people of that part of the world. One of the things that people who are considering my candidacy can take a look at is that I am not just today reaching out to the Hispanic community in the 9th Congressional District. I have a long record of results in working with a wide range of people, including the Latinos in the area, people of all walks of life. Matter of fact, a number of years ago, I was very, very involved with creating an organization called Fraternidad Puertorriqueña Unida in Taunton, which brought about a lot of the Hispanic Latino community in the greater Taunton area, trying to work on providing better opportunities for people in the area.
¿Por qué él es el candidato más adecuado para la comunidad puertorriqueña y latina del Distrito 9? Why are you the most adequate person for the District 9, for the Latino community in the District 9?
I have the most experience. I have the most experience over 22 years of working on issues that impact families, housing issues, education issues, health care issues, environmental issues. I also have a great deal of experience working at the national level on a national education foundation, on environmental policy, on trade policy. So I have the most experience to go to Washington.
Another issue that we have is about Puerto Rico. Right now, Puerto Ricans are this is the biggest minority group in District 9. What is your decision, or what's your opinion regarding the status of Puerto Rico, whether they will want to be a state, commonwealth, or independent? And that's a big issue that is right now a topic in the Congress of the United States.
I want to support what Puerto Rico wants to support in terms of its own destiny, in terms of its own future. If Puerto Rico would like statehood, that's something I would welcome. If they would seek to have an independent destiny. That too is something I would support. I think that in all of these situations that the people of the country need to make a decision as to what they want to do with their elected issues, their elected leaders, and then inform the United States, and then we can work together.
Finally, why did you want? Well, we're going to cut it right here because somebody calling him, all right? So we're going to be going around interviewing more people. Vamos a seguir por ahí porque han llamado al señor Pacheco para frente y los dejamos ahí con las cámaras. Bye, bye.
You today in saying que viva Puerto Rico. Viva Puerto Rico. I come here today invited by many of your leaders here from throughout the region to congratulate you. Congratulate you for standing up for your heritage, standing up with your families, bringing your children here so that they can grow up here in a country which is free, a country which celebrates one America, where all people from whatever walk of life, whatever ethnic or racial, whatever age, we all come together as one people to celebrate our diversity, to celebrate our multicultural, multi-ethnic, multiracial heritages. We celebrate. As a Portuguese American, I know how important that is. There have been many times for me, and I live not too far from here, as many of you know, in the city of Taunton. But there have been many times when, because of a name, there is prejudice. That's why these days are so important, because that type of attitude here in America must stop. It must stop. I'll be very brief, but I want to say, I want to thank you for allowing me a few minutes to let you know that I am a candidate for the United States Congress here in Massachusetts in the 9th Congressional District, which includes the city of Brockton, part of the city of Brockton. And it is so important, I believe, that we send someone to the United States Congress who understands the importance of truly being, not just at election time, not just when somebody is running for Congress, but send somebody to the United States Congress who has been working for years on these issues. For years. For 22 years. I have invested and committed to one America. I'll conclude by saying this. Back in the early 80s, I can remember working with a group of Latinos from my region, a person named Jose Torres. He's not here today, but I know many of you know him. And we formed an organization in Taunton at that time, which I helped form, called Puertorriqueña Unida, Fraternidad Puertorriqueña Unida. And that organization, and people from that original organization over the years, have worked to help with housing, with health care, with education, with jobs, improving the economy, improving better opportunity for people And I know people here in Brockton are doing the same thing. And all across this district are doing the same thing. So I'm here today to celebrate the progress that has taken place in the Hispanic community throughout America, and to say that today, as we celebrate its history, your history, that this is only the beginning. We have much more to go. We have much more progress to make. I conclude by saying peace in Villegas, peace in Villegas. We need peace there, and if I go to Congress, I will help you with that issue as well. Thank you.
That was Senator Mark Pacheco. Now I'd like to bring up to the podium the other candidate, Senator Brian A. Joyce. How about a hand for Brian Joyce?
Hola. ¿Cómo están? Mi nombre es Brian Joyce. Mary Joyce. Mikey Joyce. Maggie Joyce. Jimmy Joyce. Andrew Joyce. And Jake Joyce is at baseball.